Hey, how's it going? I'm East Coast Pete. Welcome to my show One Hit Wonder. Today we're going to look at Tiny Tim. And he was born Herbert Boutros Corey in 1932 and he died in 1996. He's an American singer, a ukulele player, and a musical archivist.
Thank you, my dear friends, for doing that twice.
Tiptoe Through the Tulips was his hit, which he usually sang in falsetto. Falsetto means false in Italian. It's like it's a false vocal register, an octave or two above the modal voice range, produced at the edges of the vocal cords, usually without intonation and overtones. But Tiny Tim, as he preferred to be called, was born in Manhattan. His mom was an immigrant from Belarus, and his father was a Lebanese Catholic priest. And he could do all kinds of things with his voice. When he was 5, his father gave him a vintage wind-up phonograph and a 78 RPM record of Beautiful Ohio by Henry Burr. At age 6, he began learning guitar. He became a collector of old recordings, ones from 1900 to 1930 primarily. He would spend his free time at the library reading about the history of the phonograph industry and its pioneer artists. He didn't like school. He knows he's nobody's fool. It's from Welcome to the Machine. He dropped out of high school as a sophomore. His dad was okay with it. He's a cool dad, huh? He discovered his vocal range while listening to Rudy Vallee sing falsetto. And he got a job at the New York office of MGM. He became fascinated with the entertainment industry. He entered a talent contest and sang "You Are My Sunshine" in falsetto, copying Valentino. He grew his hair to shoulder length and wore white face paint. He would play his uke and sing in the streets of Lower Manhattan, around Times Square, and in the Village. He became popular. He got his Tiny Tim name while playing as a house artist at a club in Greenwich Village. His singing act followed a troupe of little people, and he was 6 feet 1 inch, so they called him Tiny Tim. Makes perfect sense. Tiny Tim would appear in film and on TV along with his recording enterprises. On TV, he would enter Blowing Kisses before singing Tiptoe Through the Tulips while strumming his uke. He sang other songs, A Tisket, a Tasket, and On the Good Ship Lollipop from Shirley Temple's film from the 40s. In 1968, his debut album, God Bless Tiny Tim, went out, and Tulips was released as a single and became a hit. In 1969, he followed up with For All My Little Friends, a collection of children's songs, which was nominated for a Grammy. And Tiny Tim married Victoria Budinger, also known as Miss Vicky, on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. 40 million viewers watched. At some point, there was a daughter whom they named Tulip Victoria. The most unique thing about Tiny Tim was that it was no act. He was genuine and a romantic. Tiny Tim performed with rockers Camper Van Beethoven in 1986 In the 90s, there were 3 more albums. And in 1996, he died of a heart attack. While performing, he had told no one that he was a diabetic. Let's keep it sweet, Pete. Tiny Tim was the most commercially mainstream act to appear in Songs in the Key of Z, a collection of outsider music, Volume 1 and Volume 2. If you're interested in Songs in the Key of Z, they have a lot of acts like the Shags and Captain Beefheart are 2 of the more well-known names on those albums, but it's like a collection of people who just don't want to follow the mainstream, and they don't really want to follow any kind of stream, main or otherwise. They just do what they do, and it's extremely interesting to hear. I highly recommend it. You can take the book out of the library, and it comes with a cassette, possibly 2 cassettes, or if a later edition, and it'll have CDs. I'm sure that you can also find it online, like everything nowadays. Tiny Tim's patriotic. Thank you for being with me on my one-hit wonders. Next up will be Steve Forbert. Everybody take extra good care.